4 p.m. It is Thursday, March 18th. This is the executive board meeting. My name is Yahe Obeid. We have Jeremy from the office, Frano, Hazel, Roxanne Delgado, Robert Press, and Veronica Castro. I just went in the order that they're showing up on my screen here. I don't think I missed anyone. So we will get started. Jeremy is trying to pull up the minutes so we can review them. That's the first item we have on the agenda. Actually, while you do that, Jeremy, we can skip the first item and we'll just go to the second item. Removal consideration of board member or board members. So we started the process a couple of months ago, actually, I think in December, where Al gave an informal phone call to the members that had some attendance issues. Some had legitimate issues, some never, contacted the office, so we never heard from them. Right now, I think we're pretty much caught up. It is in the bylaws that Jeremy would, or the office would send letters, official letters advising them, and I think we're in the process of amending that and just making it as an email versus sending letters and maybe a phone call. So we're heading in the right direction with a couple of individuals. I think one of them didn't even know they were still on the board. The other person just resigned. So I think we have 3 out of the 6 that are resigning or have intentions to resign. Jeremy will confirm that. I did receive a few emails regarding some resignations regarding the attendance issues. Jeremy, did you get to send the letters out?
Yeah, so sorry, one of the people was calling me right now to try to join the meeting. Do you want to go over the minutes first? They're not on the website, but I do have them. I can bring those up if you want.
Jeremy, are you still on? I see you unmuted.
Can you hear me? Hold on.
Yeah, I hear you.
You hear me?
All right, I don't hear
Yahe,
Jeremy.
can you hear me?
Am I the only one that doesn't hear him?
Yeah, I hear him.
My fault. I had you guys on mute.
All right. So I can share the minutes if you want to start with that. And then get into the attendance stuff, it's up to you.
Okay. Did you guys hear me earlier when I was talking about the attendance stuff?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. I had the computer on mute because I was on my phone dialed in and I didn't want that echo, and I completely forgot to take you guys off mute. So I saw you unmuted, Jeremy, but I didn't hear what you said regarding, but I guess we can finish this off and then we'll go back to the minutes. But
Okay.
go ahead.
So yeah, I just got a call from, can you just mute yourself for now? Thanks. All right, so we have 4 members currently I sent letters to. John Scuteri, Tony Signorelli, Mulaney LaHose, and Janice Walcott. Janice just called me. She was going to try to jump into the meeting. I think she was trying to jump into leadership versus this one. She said she was in the meeting and nobody was in it yet. So I assume that's leadership she's trying to jump into. Mr. Scuteri and Mr. Signorelli said they will be resigning. Or not renewing their application. One of them is up for renewal. And Mulaney LaHose submitted a defense or the justification for her absences. Did everybody hear me?
Yeah, Jeremy, on Melanie's part, I saw that she said that she had advised us in advance that she would not be able to make the board meetings.
So before we get into detail, if we get into details, because this is, I don't want to get anything to discuss publicly that maybe shouldn't be done publicly, because this is possible removal. we should maybe go into executive session if you want to get into details.
Now we could wait for the full board meeting.
Okay. So
Okay,
that's that for attendance.
okay, and so how many people did we have on the list initially to send letters to?
I think it was 6. 2 resigned since the last meeting. Yeah, 2 resigned since the last meeting. Well, again, and if the other 2 follow through, that will be 4 that would be resigning. And there are more people stepping down, as we may hear later or at the full board meeting. I can't say who.
Yeah, with the attendance issues, it was 6 total. 2 have resigned, 2 are resigning. I mean, 4 have resigned, right? So we're left with
Well,
2.
two have resigned, 4 have said they will be resigned, but I have not received anything officially yet.
And these 4 are part of the attendance issue?
Yeah, the 4 I mentioned tonight.
Okay. All right. We'll continue going and let's see what happens with it. Anything from Hazel or Frano or Veronica? You want to add anything on attendance?
No, I'm fine.
No, I'm fine. Plenty of people at this meeting, so that was a good turn.
Yeah, I don't have anything.
Okay. Well, since we were just on agenda item number 1, do we have any volunteers for anyone to take minutes?
I've already started.
Oh, you're the best. All
I
right.
know.
So we'll go to item number 2, Jeremy, if you, I guess, or item number 1, we'll go back to it. You can pull up the minutes, we'll go over them real quick.
Tell me when you want me to scroll down.
Go ahead, Jeremy.
And scroll down a little bit. All right, so I'm calling for a motion to approve February's minutes that we just saw on the screen. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any abstentions or objections? Discussion, anything? All right, passes unanimously. Thank you, everybody. Jeremy, if you can take us back to the agenda, please. All right. Jeremy, usually you say that this meeting is being recorded. Did you start the recording? I see the top thing on the right is red.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, it's recording.
Okay, good. All right. All right. Third item on the agenda is the gallery session. So we'll open it up. I think we have 2 members of the public on. We'll go in the order that we have here. Robert Press, do you have anything for the committee, for the board?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe that I spoke at the February minutes and I'm not listed, am I, or am I? Did I miss it?
I think you spoke at leadership. I know you spoke at leadership. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure you.
Oh, are you talking about executive board minutes?
Yeah, we're talking about executive board right now.
No, in the count. Yeah. Well, all right. We'll leave it go for that then. Okay. No
I
problem.
can double check, but I think you maybe actually didn't speak for that when you spoke.
Okay.
You definitely spoke at leadership.
Okay. No, you're right. Thank you.
All right, sorry about that. I was on mute. Roxanne Delgado, do you have anything?
Hi, how are you? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
But there's lots of static. Someone has, okay, I have 3 items, please. I would like the executive board to deal with. I sent the district manager email regarding the petitions for 2500 Williamsbridge because due to the weather and COVID-19 numbers declining, I want to restart our 2500 Williamsbridge campaign to stop the drug clinic. After speaking with Irene Estrada, she said to me that Jeremy has the petitions that we collected against this in opposition to this drug clinic location. To make this short, I sent this man an email asking him if Irene gave him those petitions. He said, I think so. I don't know if I think so means yes. I'm sorry. And then second, I'm sorry, I'm at work. That's why. Sorry about that. Let's say, and second, I sent him another email stating that for him to return the petition to Irene Estrada because she gave it to him, so rightfully he should return it back to her. I'm not asking him to return it to me, and no response. So I'd like to hear for him to respond. Will he return those petitions to Irene Estrada? Because when we collected them, it was not to collect them to give them to Community Board 11. I don't know why she gave them to Community Board 11. She said that she gave it to him to hold it for her, but these petitions were to gather to send to Albany to show them how the majority of the community are in opposition to this location. So again, I would like this to be addressed because I'm very involved with 2500 Williamsbridge. I was the one that found the deed. I was the one that held the rallies, did the op-ed. And then a lot of the community, now that elections coming on, they want to hold people accountable if whether they'll listen to the community or not. And I need those petitions to restart our campaign. So will those petitions be returned to Irene Estrada, yes or no?
So you said you spoke with Irene and she doesn't have them?
She said she gave them to Harriet and that she spoke to Jeremy about it. He said that the office is closed.
Did she tell you how she gave them to the board? Did she email them or scan them? Or
last year she handed them to Harriet.
Okay. And the reason she gave them to the board is to hold on to them?
That's what she said to me, because obviously Community Board 11 didn't do anything with those petitions. They didn't submit them to anyone, which is what I want to do. I want to submit those petitions to the powers that be that we've been in contact with via email regarding our concerns about this location. And I would like to show them, because I told them we collected hundreds and hundreds of petitions, but they haven't seen those hundreds and hundreds of petitions because it's been collecting dust on Community Board 11's desk. That's what Irene said, that they're on the desk, and the Community Board 11 didn't do anything with it. I'm like, okay, so let's give, I want them back, please, Irene, and I'm going to send them to the powers that be that will help facilitate this issue for us. But again, I'm not asking anyone to give them back to me. Give them back to the person that handed them to the board, which was Irene Estrada.
Can you have her make the request with Community Board 11?
I'll speak to her tomorrow. Okay, thank you for that. Second thing, and then the last thing was very important. I sent several emails again that was ignored by your district manager. I was looking at Community Board 6 and Community Board 8, and when they send notification of their committee meetings and general full board meetings, in that email, and I said, I think I see you in those examples, both Community Board 6 and Community Board 8, both put the meeting details in the email. So they have the meeting date, the meeting link, as well as the meeting call-in, dial-in number, and the password. They don't put a link to the agenda, so that means the person has to click on the link, which will, hopefully the link is working, redirect them to the agenda on the Community Board 11 site, and then from that agenda, obtain that information of the meeting details to join. why I keep pressing on this. And this, I think like when I ask for something, it's like, I feel like this manager feels like, oh, I don't take orders from her. Maybe he feels emasculated. Maybe he feels insecure, but I'm doing this for the benefit of my community. I have to say that many people in community board, in Pelham Parkway, in my neighborhood, do not have access to internet. And the few that do, they don't know how to use it. It's their children that navigate internet for them. I'm trying to make more people involved in the meetings of Community Board 11. I'm not trying to harm Community Board 11. I'm actually trying to help the board indirectly by trying to have my community more involved in local issues. And why not make the meetings more accessible by providing the details in those emails? If you're sending those emails anyhow, it's not like you have to do additional work. Just add the meeting details in those meetings, just like Community Board 6 and Community Board 8 does. I've been asking, like for 9 months, I asked for him to put a phone-in option. He refused for 9 months to ignore my emails. I'm like, this is against the ADA compliance. Many people do not have access to internet or don't have special needs that they cannot use internet. So come on, let's just be compassionate for everybody. We want to help our community. I mean, I live in this community, so of course I want to help them. I don't live in Westchester or upstate where I don't care. Perhaps I wouldn't care what happens to Pelham Parkway, but I do care. Anyway,
Okay, let me just answer that. So your
Yeah.
request has been noted, and I understand some community boards do things differently. Sometimes it's better than us. Sometimes we do things better than them. So we are in the pursuit to get as closest to perfectness as we can. So good suggestion, and we'll take it under consideration. You can go to the third item.
No, I understand what you're saying. I agree, but I'm just feeling like it's not so much. I just feel like we should make these meetings, provide the details where the person does eliminate all the hurdles and barriers that exist now that prevents people from easily joining these meetings. I mean, you can't force people to join community board meetings, but let's make it so there's no barriers or hurdles from them. I mean, there is language barriers, so you can't do anything about that. But, you know, the city is trying to have translators in many of their meetings, trying to make the meetings more accessible, because the community must have a say in whatever happens in their community. I mean, I don't think anyone here would disagree with that. So that's why I've been asking and pushing. Just when this man sends out those emails, just what's the harm? It doesn't require much work, and it's just being more organized. You know, you could schedule those emails. So you could do your emails in one day, take less than 20 minutes, and schedule them like 2 days before the meeting commences. And just put the details. It's just 4 lines. I think the meeting detail, hopefully that would be addressed, because I think that we should, in general, try to make these meetings accessible to all, regardless of their limitations of people or residents. But now I'm going forward to something that's my issue, that's personal, and I won't take too much time. I received a very negative email from this magistrate that was banned from the Pelham Parkway Task Force meeting, saying that the leadership decided this decision. Meanwhile, there was no due process. I don't know who decided on this, but I want to tell you what happened at the meeting held in March 2021, last Thursday. First of all, I called in from work, which I'm calling now from work, and I couldn't hear a word what people were saying. So yes, I kept saying, maybe I was sounded like I was screaming, but I was not screaming. I never used profanity. I never made any threats to anyone. Yes, there was disagreement, but that's what the meetings are for. It's for disagreement. You can never have a meeting where we all go agree. And lastly, I had every right to be upset, because what happened was the prior month, they told me in the meeting that they were going to have a meeting and address my concerns regarding the tree planting plan. Next thing I know, on March meeting, they told me, guess what? We're not having a meeting, and we haven't addressed your concern, but guess what? We're moving forward with less than 72-hour notice with this tree planting. So they dropped a bomb on me. So was I upset? Of course, anyone would be upset. That's natural because of what they did. But how could I be banned from a meeting when I'm the only one that is in that meeting that actually lives in Pelham Parkway North, and I'm the organizer for Friends of Pelham Parkway that takes care of this parkway. And I think that this manager has to continue to hold that grudge against me, because I spoke against his race. You know, never against where I would speak against someone's race, because I feel like someone told me, you can't blame the man. You're trying to take money from his pocket. So he has a extreme vendetta against you because you spoke against his race. But get over it now. It's been 2 years now, and he's still going after me. I'm not paranoid, but last year, he sent a message to someone on Instagram about me, and I was like, she sent the message back to me, it's like, who is this man? Why is he talking about you? I said, are you serious? Like, why are you sending Instagram messages to people that are following me on Instagram?
So I think this is getting on the borderline of executive session. I don't know if you want to go into that, Ms. Delgado?
Okay, listen, I won't address that. I won't mention that. There's no need for it. Okay, my issue is, how can I be banned from a meeting when there's no due process? And I think it was done in retaliation because I did at CBS. CBS covered the issue like just yesterday. Because last week, no one had any issue with me. No one mentioned, oh, guess what? We want to ban you from the meeting, or we don't like. It just happened today. I received an email, you're banned from the meeting, just a day after CBS reported the issue where I was upset about not being informed about the community, not being informed about the street planting.
Okay, so Jeremy, who's the host of the meeting, of that meeting?
So CB11, CB11 staff. So if we want to get into details, we do have another member of the public, Mr. Press here, who does go to those meetings. I don't know if Ms. Delgado wants him here for this type of discussion. If we want to go into executive session, or do we want to just lock the meeting, go into executive session with Mr. Press and lock the meeting? But I think to be on the safe side, we might want to go into executive session.
No, I just had a question. So
I mean, what?
we host the meeting, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We
And we received a complaint from someone other than members and staff members of Community Board 11, is that correct?
Yes.
And generally, this is not a public meeting?
This is not a public meeting. The only time are these meetings public is when we have a public hearing,
Okay,
which is done at the Institute for Special Education.
okay, since it's not a public meeting, the public meeting or open meetings laws don't apply to that meeting where, the notifications have to be made, gallery session has to be open, has to be recorded and all that other stuff, right?
Yeah, hey, if I might say, DDC runs the meeting. It's a DDC meeting hosted by the community.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't think it's a community board meeting. That's why I was confused.
DDC defers to us. We've had this issue in the past, and push comes to shove, they defer to us. So it is our platform. We do run the meeting, although we do turn it over to DDC to give a presentation. We are responsible for what happens in that meeting.
Okay, did we consult with them or talk to them prior to coming to this conclusion?
Unequivocally.
Okay. Ms. Delgado, I know you disagree with the decision that was made, but I believe for the decision has been made already. And if you disagree with it, I would recommend you could file a complaint, recommend going to the ethics committee and having the ethics committee look it over and review it, do an investigation, and come up to a decision on that.
Okay, can I just think, there was some static. I didn't hear the response. When you asked the question, was CDC aware or part of this decision? What was the response? I couldn't hear that.
Unequivocally.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, no, I heard static. All right, that's fine, then I'll send my email to DDC, that's it.
Yeah, hey, can I just interject something here?
Yes.
And I know the person doesn't want me to mention her name, but can the previous speaker be given one more chance? And use this as a warning, basically, please. And because that speaker is a valuable person to the committee and to the park, or I should say the Parkway. All right, I would ask that she be given one more chance.
And you know what? Well, it can be taken under consideration. Like I said, the decision was made. Um, Based on what I've heard today, I'm in support of that decision. Um, You know, there, it's not an indefinite ban. If there possibly something in the future that comes up and um, Ms. Delgado might be invited to it again, I'm not sure. But I think for the correct platform to continue this is to escalate it to the ethics committee, let them review it next month, and come up with a decision. And you never know, maybe the decision might be reversed based with just time passing and more discussions occurring. I'm not 100% sure, but thank you for that.
But because back there was no due process. There's no reason why what I did or what my disagreeing with someone does not make it my violating the community guidelines. This is why your dispatcher wants to control what people say with his DM report saying that we limit one person per topic, and he wants to limit what people say. Just like Diane Fitch said, like he wants to control or investigate what people want to say. We have the right to say what we want as long as we don't use profanity or slander or libel people. Yes, I was rightfully upset. My voice was maybe higher than usual, but that doesn't mean.
And I understand. Listen, I completely understand you, but we spent 15 minutes. We gave you the floor today for about 15 minutes now, and with time, everybody's time. We're all volunteers, and our time is valuable. And I'm not trying to cut you off, but my suggestion is take this item to a different platform. There are items that we can handle via email, items that we can handle at meetings like this. We can spread it out so we don't focus on one meeting and take all the time. That's my suggestion to you. I hope you accept it.
And I will follow that suggestion, but in that email, I think you should at least state the reason what I did. You just said you violated community guidelines. Should I get some due process as to what I violated or how I violated? That's what I'm saying.
And I understand. And like I said, it'll probably be discussed further. But my recommendation to you is take it to the ethics committee. That's where it needs to be. That's where the action and recommendations can be taken. The decision won't be reversed in this meeting or even in the leadership meeting.
Okay, understood.
Hey, Al, how you doing? You're on mute.
Sorry, I was late. I was detained getting home. I couldn't get home in time.
Whoa, that's a big word, detained.
Roxanne Delgado.
Has left the meeting.
All right. Well, we started without you. We went through the agenda. We had the quorum. We reviewed the minutes. So we talked about the attendance. The 6 people that we mentioned with the attendance issues. I think 4 of them have resigned, so we're down to 2.
Right. I spoke to 2 of them today. And again, I express my thanks for them serving on the board and for the effort that they put in for the community. A few others I called, left messages. I didn't get a call back. Again, they did. They were volunteers and they did a job for the community, and they did. So I just wanted to thank everybody for their, for their work, for the work they have done. And I understand some of them there were personal reasons, some health reasons. Some job-related, just reasons they couldn't continue and felt they couldn't do a proper job. So, but I would like to speak to all of them to let them know that we do appreciate the work they have done.
Yeah, thank you for that, for taking the time to do that. And I think the process became easier than we initially thought it would be, with more than half of them just automatically resigning. And I hope the other ones get we get clarified. I didn't see. I know one of them was mentioned earlier that the defense was made. I haven't seen anything. I guess is that going to be presented at the full board meeting, or what are we doing there?
I haven't heard. I haven't heard the defense. Jeremy might have.
So I'm pretty sure I thought I forwarded it to you.
Did you? All right.
I will double check. I thought because Frano saw it, right, Frano? You saw it.
Yeah, I thought that was her defense that she was reacting to. Maybe it was just a partial, but yeah, I thought I saw an email.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I forwarded it to everybody. I will go back through and I will look.
Oh, you very well might have, Jeremy. I might have missed it, which would be no problem.
But as I said earlier, before you got in, Al, we have 3 other people that haven't made it public yet, but they are stepping down as well. So if everybody steps down, we're gonna have like 8 openings or something like that. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that the people that when they're replaced, that their community is represented. I don't want, in other words, if someone is representing a community, we should replace somebody that's from that community, so that community is not void of a representative. And I will mention that to the borough president and to the councilman.
Yeah. So Yahe, you got an email on the 10th at around 12:30 p.m. Now, I think I only CC'd you, Al, and Veronica, and I think I said to Harriet separately to forward it on to Frano and Hazel. I think that's what happened. You should have got an email on the 10th at around 12:30 p.m. March 10th. It's me responding to this board member, just thanking them for their response. But below that is their response.
Hey, Al, I believe that at least 3 people from Pelham Gardens that were on the board will not be on the board. So Pelham Gardens definitely is not being represented. Once I leave and Vinny already resigned, and there's 1 more in the pipeline.
So we have to make sure that those areas are represented.
So, Al, do you want to take over for Yahe now that you're in? It's all we have left is old business, new business. We already went through the gallery.
Yahe's done such a great job. Sure. Okay. Anybody for old business?
Al, I never heard back in reference to that operations by New York State, and I had requested that our community precinct follow up on it, and nobody ever responded. I still need to know why so much, let me be diplomatic here, so much force was used for a gambling place. And these were supposedly all gambling, not arms trafficking, not drug trafficking, gambling. And to my knowledge, very few people were arrested. Where is the outcome and why so much force was used? I still need to know why such force was used.
Well, in talking to some law enforcement that do these raids, when they do the raids, they do it usually 6 o'clock in the morning is when they do it. But again, when they do it in mass. They hit all the locations at the same time, because if they don't, the word will spread very quickly and they'll close down before they get there. So it's one big sweep that they come in with. They say they don't know what to expect. They don't know if there's guns involved or anything else. So when they come in with massive force, and and again, it was mentioned that possibly it was overuse of force. I mean, there was no reason for the tactics that were used, but this is their modus operandi. This is the way they do their business. When they make any kind of a raid, they come in hard, fast, and they want to make sure nobody gets hurt. And by doing that, sometimes it looks like Gestapo tactics, but that's it was a safety issue basically.
But Al, I appreciate what you're telling me. The fact was that the deputy inspector said, give me Frano's information and I'll follow through. No one has gotten back to me and it's a month since this happened. Number two, 5 concussion bombs were thrown. I was in a barber shop. I thought I was in a war zone.
It's the way they do.
Yeah, I know, but I think they should have gotten back to you.
Absolutely. I will talk to the deputy inspector and find out why they haven't responded to you at all.
And again, it wasn't a 49 operation. I understand that. And
In
it's
fact,
a
the
shame.
49 didn't even know about it till the last minute.
Yeah, and that's a shame of it all, but that's besides the point. That's neither
They
here nor
can't.
there.
They let them know that the word might leak out. So when they do something like that, those operations are done, from another location other than the precinct. The precinct is they let the precinct know probably 10 minutes before it happens, so that the police don't get involved and or stay away from the area. So they do give them a heads up, but probably just 10 minutes before. They don't want it to be leaked out by some member of the police force, or sometimes the local police get friendly with the community people in the community, and they may drop a dime and tell them that something's coming down. So rather than have that happen, they don't let them know. This is what they do.
Again, my appreciation to the 49 is beyond anything. I think they do a great job. Maybe the inspector is embarrassed because they refuse to respond to him. And that's okay. He could say, I'm sorry, Frano, they refuse to respond to me. If necessary, I will bring it to Fox News. I am not ashamed of it.
Yeah, I don't think he's ashamed of it. I think this is what they do. This is how they do their operation. When I lived on Arthur Avenue, I did them on Arthur Avenue. That's exactly the way they did it. They came in like gangbusters. And they just don't want to make sure they're not going to get hurt. But I will talk to the deputy inspector to find out why, you weren't made aware of what was going on, why he didn't get back to you.
Again, I think, please don't misunderstand. So when you speak to him, all I need to know is, did the people from the state respond to him? Because that was the question. He was going to follow with the state as to why such a use of force, like a armored vehicle, over 15 full body armored personnel, and the concussion bombs. It's not 49 I have an issue with. I need to know what happened. That's all.
It also has to do a lot with the intelligence that they were given. If they were given intelligence that people in the place might have weapons, again, I'm just guessing here, but I know just from talking to police officers, this is not unusual that they would come in hard and fast, and they would be expecting the unexpected. In case somebody had weapons or it turned into a shootout, they wanted to be well prepared. The thing that strikes me is that no arrests were made. I understand arrests are going to be coming down, but they arrested nobody at the time, from what I understand, and that doesn't make any kind of sense. But I will talk to the deputy inspector tomorrow and find out what's going on, and have him make sure he gets back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay.
And Frano, I also recommend, following up just in general, why would you scare the hell out of community members? It should be taken into consideration. You're a community member, you're in a barbershop, and you see that. That's very frightening for you. They should take that into consideration, at least hear it and acknowledge it.
Right, and again, my point is not 49. My point is, I need a simple explanation. They could tell me what Al just said. That's the modus operandi. If they don't give a damn about scaring community, so be it. Then I'll decide what I need to do on my part.
Right, that makes sense. In other words, you basically want to know why and get some kind of closure to what went on and why it went on and why, well, the 49, I know why the 49 wasn't involved, because they weren't told until the last minute. That's something that they do.
I think Tucker Carlson would love to have me on his show.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Okay. Any new business? Motion to adjourn?
I second it.
All right, thank you. See you at leadership.
Meeting ended at 6:44 PM. Thank you, everybody.
I just want to apologize for being late, but I hit a snafu getting home.
So we'll whiplash you later, Al.
Fair enough.
Does leadership begin?
7:00.
What's that? 7?
7.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.